Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I go by Hiram or Bogwa. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be covering Intellij, knowing how to create a Java application on Intellij and running it in regular mode and also in debug mode, and knowing how to put breakpoints in your code. Now, Intellij is what's considered an IDE, and there are various other IDEs out there, such as Eclipse, which is another popular one when it comes to Java development. But personally, I prefer to use Intellij as I've found it to be simpler and better. The other thing that you can install are themes in Intellij. The one that I like to use is called Monokai, and that's the same one that I was using on VS Code. You know, you can use whichever one you want. You can come here and download it and install it. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started with creating the program. So once you launch Intellij, right now I have version 2020.3.2. So once I launch it, I can click on New Project, and that brings up this window where I can select the type of project that I want to create. As you can see, Intellij offers you various options, but in our case, we're only going to create a Java project. So I'll select Java and then click Next, and then here I'll give it a name. And you can change the location where you'd like to create your program, but I like where mine is at, so I'll go ahead and finish. Okay, now on the left panel, it will open up the project. Now, as you can see, here we have what's called the source folder. That will be where our code will be going. And then we have the .iml file and .idea file. Those are settings for Intellij to utilize. So those ones you don't need to worry about. But the main thing that you need to know is that you have this source folder, and that will be where you'll be putting your class. Now, and the main thing to know is you have this source folder, and that will be where your classes will be going. Next, we have this external libraries, and these are the libraries that our project will be utilizing when running. Our Java JDK provides us with these different jars that we can utilize in our code. So now I'm going to go ahead and create the main class. Just right click on the source folder and then go to New, and then here you have the option of Java class and several other options. But for now, we'll cover the Java class option. So I'll go ahead and click Java class, and then let me go ahead and create the class. I'll call it test runner. Now the cool thing to know is Intellij goes ahead and defines that class for us as public class and test runner, as we called it. Now next, I'll go ahead and create the main method, and Intellij provides us with shortcuts that we can utilize to speed up our development. And in this instance, if I do PSVM, that stands for public static void main, enter, voila, we have our program. So let's go ahead and print out a statement. And as you can see, Intellij auto suggests. So now to run the class, we can right click on the class, run, or run in debug mode, or we can come here in the main method and click on that and run the class. So there's several ways to run this, or we can start from the class itself. It's automatically gonna know it needs to run the main method. So let's run it from here. And there it is, app started. Now something to note that's different when you're running your Java code on Intellij compared to how we were running it on the terminal. So on the terminal, we would compile the class first and then run that compiled class. Now in this instance, whenever we're using Intellij, Intellij will do the compilation for us. And as you can see, after we ran the class, it created this out folder, and this out folder contains our .class file. And as you can see, testrunner.class. Now if there was an error with compilation, for example, if we remove that semicolon, first of all, Intellij lets you know that there's an error here. So before you even think about running your code, it's automatically telling you there's an error here. So what happens if I try to run it? There it is. It's gonna print out the compilation error, which is you need that semicolon. So once I add that semicolon, that goes away, and I can now run the class. Next, I'll show you how to run it in debug mode. Now, the point of running your code in debug mode is you can put a breakpoint, which is what I've done here, So if I click there and you see there's that red dot that appears, that means whenever this program executes, I want it to stop there, and that allows me to view the execution context of the program. So now if we run this, note that was a regular run, so it won't stop, but running debug. Once the program executes, it's gonna stop there, and I'm able to view such things such as args. I can tell args is empty and play it out. That's over. Now let's define a variable in here. Int test val equals 234. I don't know why I always choose 234. So now let's put a breakpoint there. So let's do int So now let's run the program in debug mode. The first thing that we do is we hit that first breakpoint, and as you can see, the args is empty. So at this point, we have not set the test valve variable. So that's why you're not able to view it here as a test valve. So now if I click, actually instead of clicking resume program, I'll step over. So I can step over that line. So I'll click step over, which can also be executed by hitting F12, F8. So I'll step over. And then after that, as you can see, test val equals 234. And here in my variables, I'm able to view test val equals 234. And next, we haven't set sum yet, but now whenever I step over again, there you go. We have the sum equals 254. And here at the bottom, variables sum equals 254. Another cool thing that you can do is you can right click in the variable section and put new watch, and I can test things out such as test val plus 11. It allows me to mess around with my code as it's executing. Another thing that we can do is step into, or for step into, and what that does is we'll step inside the method. So if we were to step over here, our program would end. So we can step into, and that will allow us to step into the print line method. So let's go ahead and force step into. And as you can see, we're now inside the print line method, and you can see that the value x equals app started. Now the context of the variables change. Here at the bottom, test val, it's no longer available since we're inside now the print stream class. So after that, you can step out. So I'll step out. And there it is. So this has executed and we finished, and just resume program. So I'd recommend take some of the code that we've done before and bring it over into Intellij and experiment with stepping through the code to see how it's actually executing. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't, and also check me out on Instagram at coderush.io.